This is ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450. Zach Seyko here, and it is a privilege to welcome back Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle on the show with us. Jesse, thanks so much for your time again.
Yeah, once again, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a privilege to have you on the show, a privilege to cover the team as well. Bald Eagle improving to 3-3 on the season. A tough schedule. That 3-3 record should not fool anybody the way that the Eagles have been playing. More importantly, 3-1 in the Mountain League and coming off an impressive victory on the road, I might add, as well, against the Golden Eagles of Tyrone. So it was a battle of who had the better Eagles football team, and Bald Eagle came away with a 31-7 victory. That was an undefeated Tyrone team. They were 5-0 entering that contest. So what was the game plan leading up to it that you were so confident would work out against Tyrone?
I think we were definitely better than our record. Like you alluded to, that our schedule has been brutal, which is great because it gets us ready for teams like Tyrone. Tyrone is, a very good football team, very fundamentally sound. So, defensively, we had some real big keys on them. We felt that we had some things that, showed us how to prepare defensively for different sets they gave us. And then offensively, we knew that they were going to try to slow down the passing game, get us in a 3-down. Pretty much everybody's deal right now. And, we're getting better and better at preparing for that and, changed some blocking schemes and did some things differently the last couple of weeks. That way, I guess for our kids to be in a better situation, it's no more guessing. Everybody's just saying, hey, we're going to get a 3-down and go cover 8 in some aspect to try to slow down your vertical game.
This is now the third game that Bald Eagle has held a team to 7 or fewer points. Tyrone, Bellefonte, and Clearfield, even though that game was a loss against Clearfield. When you look at the stats, Tyrone struggled in both the run and the passing game, so the defense worked to perfection. Was it more important leading up to the game to prevent the run or go after limiting the passing attack?
We wanted to eliminate the run. Tyrone, a lot of their play action stuff, the ones that really hurt you is off the play action. So we wanted to try to eliminate the run. That was our first and foremost. And then when they got in third and longs, we mixed up a lot of different coverages to confuse the young quarterback. Honestly, we pinned back the ears and let our kids run upfield and let them make plays with their feet on the defensive line because we knew he was athletic with his legs. So, I think the biggest thing is when you play a great team like Tyrone, a very well-coached team like Tyrone, you got to take out of what they do really well. And typically Tyrone teams run the rock and, they hit you with play action. And those are the big plays. Of course, what they have there now is a kid that can run with his feet a little bit at quarterback. So it makes it a little bit more challenging when he gets in gun and runs around on pass downs. But, we knew we had to take care of the first and foremost, and that was them running the football.
This is PA Prep Sports Breakdown on State College's ESPN Radio. I'm your host, Zach Seyko, and we are joined by Bald Eagle football head coach Jesse Nagle as we are recapping Bald Eagle and Tyrone. You mentioned the defense pinning its ears back. 8.5 sacks against that Tyrone team. That is very sound. They were 5-0 under John Franco this season, and they'll still be competitive through the remainder of the year. What was the atmosphere like? We got to witness on State College's ESPN Radio the blackout when we covered Tyrone and Bellefonte. That community really gets up for Tyrone high school football on Friday nights.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. There's no question about it. It was definitely a lot of people there. I think the band plays from the whole way from their high school down on the streets. That's probably a 1.5 mile walk to bring them into them or bring the football players in. There's a lot of great tradition there. It's definitely not as loud as Montoursville, though. Like I told you last week, Montoursville was rocking. But it was definitely a pleasure to play in an atmosphere like that again. And, the kids did a nice job, I guess, blocking that type of stuff out again.
What does this kind of win do for the team right now? Again, a slow start to the season, but only because of the level of competition that Bald Eagle was playing against. And they were still close games. The fact that Troy and Clearfield were at the margins that they were showed to the true high school football fans that Bald Eagle was ready to go. But now second place in the Mountain League at 3-1, back to 500 with the opportunity to finish the season 7-3 overall if everything goes right. Where's the team right now, the players, in terms of emotion?
I think we're right where we need to be right now. I think that we definitely made mistakes early, and the kids knew it. We knew that we gave a couple games away. So, to get over that hump, that adversity took a little bit. And not saying that we're completely over it yet, but the Tyrone win definitely, I think, proved the kids and, hopefully other teams around that, we can compete, and we're gonna be there hopefully at the end. That's for sure.
Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle is on the line with us here on State College's ESPN Radio. The next game this Friday is going to be a home game. It is also homecoming. We'll talk about that, of course, Coach. But the opponent is Philipsburg-Osceola, led by head coach Jeff Broman, who, of course, has an historic career coaching Central Pennsylvania high school football. What do we know about the Mounties and PO? Because that 1-5 record also, I think, is a little deceptive.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a good football team. They got a lot of good athletes. They run an offense that you don't see very often. It's once a year, typically, maybe twice a year. And defensively, they got a lot of nice players too. So, they're definitely a team that you give them belief. They're definitely gonna take advantage of that. So, 1-5, yeah, that record says one thing, but I think playing wise and on the field wise, they could easily be a 2-4 team or a 3-3 team right now. So, we're focusing on it's a rival game, and it's a very important game for us.
Seeing them in person myself when we followed Bellefonte and Philipsburg-Osceola in that game. It was a close one. It was 9-8, which is why I say that record is really deceiving because they can take opponents down to the wire. The offense starts with Ben Gusky, but they have about 4 different running backs that they can go to in the running game, and they like to ground and pound it. How do you key in on one guy? How do you account for all of them?
Well, honestly, how they run their offense, you just have to account for the offense. They're not a team that you typically can say, hey, we got to shut this kid down or shut that kid down. You just got to play some fundamentally sound football because they do a lot of crisscross scissors stuff, a lot of things that your eyes can be deceived by. So, we key different, like the linebackers key different guys and the defensive line key different guys. And we just have to understand, do our job and make sure that, at this, I guess, not to give too much away, but, one player does 3 things, and those 3 things will tell you what play it's going to be every single time. So, for us, example would be an outside backer, Keene, one of their guys. If he does this, you do this. If he does this, you do that. If he does this, you do that. So it's just 3 things that the kids truly need to know. So that being said, we're not really keying one guy in particular. It's more keying the offensive system itself.
And like those running backs, they double. Philipsburg-Osceola's roster is not the biggest, but a lot of those guys are so talented that they can go both ways. And those running backs double as linebackers, and they fly all over the football field. Again, without spilling the game plan, the blueprint. But how is Bald Eagle accounting for those guys when you're on offense, especially since the offense is still not quite up to par with what Bald Eagle's defense has been?
Yeah, we're going to do what they give us again. I think since week 3 we've been doing a really nice job with that. If they're going to play us in coverage, we're going to drop too many guys, or we're going to run the rock. If they're going to bring some pressure, we're going to throw the ball. So I think that they do a good job. Flying around the football, that's for sure. So, we just got to make sure we get hats on guys and don't miss assignments, especially in space. A lot of guys, the slaughter the receivers, that those critical blocks when we have one-on-ones that could maybe bust a big one. So, we're definitely emphasizing this week. We got to finish every block and make sure we get a hat on all the guys that they have running around.
Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle is with us on State College's ESPN Radio. My name is Zach Seyko. Coach, again, before I let you go, homecoming is this Friday for Bald Eagle, so the alumni can come back and enjoy the festivities. I'm sure the high school is having the big dance for the students, and the atmosphere, I'm sure that the school spirit has been unmatched. And what has the school spirit looked like from your perspective this week leading up to the game?
I think it's been outstanding. We do a theme every single day, and you're walking the hallways and kids are wearing whatever that theme is, and teachers. The excitement is there, that's for sure. And then tonight, we had the homecoming parade. There's, countless floats. We'll go through Milesburg and finish up at the Little League fields. And, I think overall, kids are excited. I think the student body's excited, the players, the coaches, the parents, everybody's excited. Homecoming's a special time. Hopefully, we don't get too excited and do some uncharacteristic things. But, beyond the game plan or not the game plan, but the practice is being shortened, unfortunately, because of that stuff, I think it's an outstanding week.
Do you have a favorite homecoming game memory that you can think of?
Oh, man, I'm old. I have lots of them. I think for me personally, I like going, playing, coaching or playing when people had their homecoming, I guess activities or festivities when we're there, because we like spoiling them. But that being said, here at home, probably one of my first ones coaching here, just simply because you get so close to your players, and when they're out there doing the multiple things they're doing, they're playing football, but then they do an escort, and they're just part of that community too. And it's great to see that your guys, you can say, or your football guys are out there being regular kids too, and enjoying that moment too. So I enjoy that part of it, seeing the kids really I guess go out and not just be like this group or that group. They expand.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bald Eagle area football head coach Jesse Nagle joining us on the show here on State College's ESPN Radio. Coach, thanks so much. Best of luck on Friday, and I'm sure we'll be talking again very soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.